Hey guys, how y'all doing? I'm back. I'm making another video, just saying what's up, seeing how y'all doing. Share how I'm doing, share what I've been doing recently. Uh, I went shopping the other week. I bought a new phone case for my phone. Debated getting a new phone. I really debated it. Um, I debated it. Um, so what can I talk about right now? What's on my mind? Maybe some of the things that have been on my mind. I don't know. Oh, okay. I know what I want to talk about. I have a couple things I want to talk about. So, okay. So, I wanted to talk about transgenderism. Yes, I want to talk about transgenderism and kind of give my opinions on it because I I think I understand why a lot of people do get a sex or get a sex change. Is that what I'm trying to say? Yeah, I can understand why a lot of people do that, especially in more of conservative type of environments and stuff. Like people think that like people start off as liberals. Most liberals started off as conservatives, and from what I guess my research is a lot of people who are transgender today, they come from they were initially gay, and maybe if they were a boy they were more feminine, or if they're a woman they're more masculine, just by nature. And I'm not saying more masculine like to be offensive or to be like that's a negative thing, because for a woman to be masculine and to be strong and have masculine characteristics, that is a beautiful thing. Like, don't let nobody tell you that's not a beautiful thing, because that is. And for a man to be feminine and caring and loving and gentle, that is an amazing thing too. Like, don't, you know, I hate the fact that we live in this world where, like, people feel like, oh, like, I mean, even myself, like, I can say I experienced that to a certain degree of people telling me, oh, be tough, be, you know, this pressure of being more masculine and stuff like that. But yeah, back to what I'm saying. These people, they come from these more rural, or not just rural, but more conservative environments. And the pressure, I guess, of them, not fitting in, and ultimately, I want y'all to think of this from a different perspective, because people talk about happiness and things like that, but a lot of it, what I think, a lot of it is economical. And we often don't talk about how economics influences people's decisions, but I mean, it has a huge impact on people's decisions and what they feel, what they can and cannot do, and what type of resources that they do and will not have access to. Um, it's hard. It's harder to be respected in certain type of spaces if you're not a more masculine, go-getter type of man. Your boss may not respect you. I mean, in my case, my boss had no respect for me. Um, uh, and some of that could have been my fault. Come on, some of that could have been my fault. But as far as just like even just the aspect of doing my job, you know, my supervisor didn't respect me. I wasn't masculine. I was never outgoing enough or, headstrong or in his face talking and posturing and all this stuff that is I guess more cornerstone to more masculine type of interactions. Like I love talking about feelings. I love talking about things that are pretty and things that are, I'm not like rowdy. I'm not like interested in football or things like that. Like I'm more of a kind of artsy type of person. And, you know, like that's just maybe just like a small degree of it, right? Like you have people who are way more feminine than me, in these spaces, and it can create economic hardship. It can really, I'm just saying, being gay, like, can create economic hardship, can make you more likely to be passed over for a promotion, or make you more likely to be seen as somebody who's underperforming, or who isn't presenting the company image or something like that, you know? So that's kind of how it is sometimes. That really is how it is. Um, and so I feel like a lot of transgender people, they will end up switching if they are feminine enough or if they're masculine enough to actually make it believable and make it work. They will, just for their economic well-being, as well, not just because of, like, socially, but social is tied to economics. Like, I hate that people think it's not. People think, oh, like people are crying because people don't like them. No, people not liking you, if people don't like you, that can seriously hurt how far you can go in life. Like, people underestimate that. Like, as far as like a lot of black people, we always talk about that, like racism and white people not liking us and stuff like that. And you say, oh, stop crying, stop doing this. A lot of people say, but it is a big deal when the people who have most of the money and power and access to these resources don't like you. And they may, they may develop a like for you, but you really have to fit a specific mold. You really, really do have to be very, very believable to them. You really do have to paint this picture and idea of yourself to them, more so less than if like somebody who is white, a cisgendered male, he's not gonna really struggle as much to paint a picture of him belonging somewhere because he is the standard. Like, he is what people are used to seeing, and what people, even my boss in his case, being a Puerto Rican man, is what he's striving to be. He's striving to be a white man, and present a certain masculine image that that these people have in their mind. So, when you get to the transgender people, it's a really similar thing. It's if you're not passing, like, say if a woman is like a electrician or something like that, people may not give her as much respect, and it might be hard for her to climb up the ranks and become a master electrician or become a master plumber or whatever type of trade she might do. So her, just in the effort to make life easier, she might get a sex change. She might get a sex change. Or similar, if a man is into a more softer career field like cosmetics or something, just to make his brand explode or be more believable, or even if he's in like, HR position or something, to get more respect and to to be to have a better social life, these people will change their gender just because of just off the basis of that alone can make somebody want to change. And people want to change who they are. And me, I personally don't, I don't agree with that. Like, I feel like, yes, a person can be a woman and have a masculine spirit within them, or be a man and have a feminine energy within them that was called for by God on earth. And, I believe that should be accepted. But the reality of the world that is not accepted, is not respected. Um, my supervisor, just with me being gay, my supervisor went and said that, oh, like, I don't think you're a good fit here because I feel like you would be more into computers and stuff like that. And this was not a conversation that I had ever formally ever had with him. This is just something shop talk that he might have conjured up in his mind himself. And, you know, so people can make any excuse why not to, or why to discriminate against somebody. And it has a social consequence as well as an economic consequence. And, and the economic consequence is very, is like the last, but it's the nail in the coffin for, or it's where it really all matters. Like, that's where it really, really matters, where the social actually really does affect you. And if you're in a spot where you have been socially discriminated against, or you feel like you have been in the out group, and you will see the economic impacts, and you just look back to that. You look back to the social aspect of it. Um, yeah, so that's one thing I wanted to talk about and I wanted to discuss, because it's hard. It's hard a lot of times. And I mean, even like being in a relationship and being a gay guy, like being in relationships with men, experiencing it through that aspect as well. Like my ex, he often would tell me, you know, if there's a situation or whatever that we had, he'd be like man up, or if I wanted him to defend me in a certain scenario, I would tell him, I really would have appreciated that if you, would have said something, or like been like had my back, and you just kind of stayed silent. And he's like, oh, you're a man, you should be able to fight and defend for yourself. But in the bedroom, like, it's a total different story, right? Like I'm just a bitch nigga in the bedroom, I guess, right? Um, or if like there's a position that he's taking on something, it's like, oh, I'm not a pansy, like I'm, as far as him saying he's not a pansy, he, he doesn't have to listen to me, or he hasn't doesn't have to bend to my will. And it's like, okay, well, like, if you're not a pansy, then I'm a pansy, because that's the only space that I can occupy at this moment, because you're not going to do what I tell you to do. And like, so either our relationship isn't going to work, or I'm going to do what you tell me to do just to make the relationship work, right? So I mean, this is an issue that can, this lack of acceptance and lack of appreciation for different types of people, like, it's really hard. And I really do like seeing that different types of people are successful and are have made a niche for themselves online. And I'm kind of feeling like that's the route for me too, because Like, I don't think I'm gonna have, I really don't feel like I can have social success with people or have people really wanting to be my friend because, I have these differences. I am black, I am gay. In college, what is college? College is mostly white people and mostly white women. And, I don't even want to get into that and how, being in a very white high school and how that dynamic played out. Like, it was a really disgusting dynamic, just to say the least. Like the white girls in my school, they, I don't know, they wanted to have sex with me. They wanted to just experience me, and it felt very disingenuous. And it really made me feel some type of way about white women. Like, I mean, obviously, white guys you know, are similar in a certain extent as far as my experience, but yeah, they're different people. But, yeah, being like a minority at a school and having that be a situation, yeah, it was really weird. It was really weird. I didn't like it. And being in college and having a similar thing, similar type of demographic be around me everywhere I go is just, I don't know. Like, maybe I'm overthinking it. Maybe I think too much about these things. But the problem is the negative consequences of not fitting in and not getting along with people. It's such a high it's such a high burden, and it costs so much. It's cost more than anything in this world to be not accepted by a certain group or accepted by the in group and be the out group. Um, it's a very, very hard thing to be because, like, even if you are in the quote unquote out group and you try to establish connections with your out group peers, as far as, like, in my case, right, I would say other black gay men, it's hard because they have a lot of the trauma and a lot of the built-in, like, expectations and things that straight people have for men. I've heard so many of my gay friends talk about, oh, man up and stuff like that. It's like, you know, we are all feminine as fuck. We are all feminine. Even the most masculine of gay men have feminine aspects in their personality more so than a straight guy would. But you constantly, like, have yourself going up against that. Like, oh, you're emotional. You're attaching to me. This is weird. Like, you're supposed to be masculine and distant and cold, and that's attractive to me. Like, this isn't attractive to me because we have so much, like, trauma bonding and stuff that we have going on, and it just makes it really hard. It makes it really hard. But anyway, those were the topics. Just a different perspective on transgenderism. I guess me talking about in group, out group type of things. I wanted to kind of talk to you guys about my love life and stuff like that, and what's going on with that right now. But maybe that's just a topic for another video. So, thank you guys for watching. Another bedside with CJ. Probably about to go to bed right now. Get up early, study. Got school in the morning. So, good night, guys, or good morning, wherever you are. I'll talk to you later. Bye.